All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hippo Cup 8 Winners Bracket Final. It is the surprise team of the tournament, Dadunai, taking on the not-so-surprise team of the tournament, Battle of HK, in a somewhat surprising winners final between two teams from the same group. I don't know that we've ever had this happen before. I don't know that we'll ever have this happen again, so let's enjoy it while we are here. I'm T1G. Joining me for this one is Mr. iFlame. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here. As always, looking forward to this matchup. Wide awake, of course, I'd expect. Nonetheless, for a match like this one, and these two teams, they've had their challenges on the way here, right? It has not been a necessarily super dominant run for either team, but they've had their dominant matches as well. Both teams have had some close 7-5 matches. Both of them have also had some more decisive 7-1, 6-2 victories. And so facing off now, like you said, not necessarily the two teams you'd expect here. I have to imagine the first time I've ever seen two teams from the same group, and that's pretty interesting. Two very different teams in terms of roster composition. It feels like Dad and I, uh, on paper at least, tend to be pretty strong on some of these more mechanical picks. Things like tech, things like aim should be good for them. And whereas Battle of HK, interestingly, on paper, they have an incredibly strong reading roster. You think they'd like a lot of those more gimmicky picks, but I think last week when we saw this team play versus the Irishmen, they didn't actually end up going for many of those more reading focused picks. So maybe we'll see them stick to things more, a little bit more aim control focused, a little bit more alt heavy. We'll have to see.
It does feel like Battle of HK have had pretty good luck with the mechanic stuff as well. I mean, they had that freaking like absolutely ridiculous four-way full combo on last week's DT2,
Yeah,
or no, excuse me, DT3. Sorry. So definitely a team that is more than capable on pretty much anything. But yeah, I do feel like Dadunai has definitely liked to leverage some mechanics, but they've also liked to leverage, like the hard rock stuff, right? And that team is an interesting one, as we've talked about kind of week over week. They run like a 4 or 5 man roster, right? You see Crystal, you see David, you see Kurumi, you see Ladothox a lot, and you see maybe some Sears EXE1, but it's not a big roster. You don't see them using the remaining members as much, whereas Battle of HK much better at using everyone they have available to them, which definitely I think opens up more of the pool. And I think that's very important. You get into a best of 15, you need to have some of those kind of fringe picks, and it helps to have, maybe some extra people in your roster that you can bring in and drop into some of the really challenging kind of oddball picks in this pool. And just to make our point very clear with the first two bans, right? Battle of HK, go ahead, ban out a Hard Rock, and Dadunai ban out that reading No Mod 5, the AR6 overlap hell map, which I think are just completely unsurprising. Like, that's exactly in line with what we're saying.
yeah, Battle of HK had some pretty strong Hard Rock scores last week. Dad and I mean, they had a great Hard Rock 3, but did struggle a bit more with some of the other Hard Rocks, so something to keep in mind as we wait for the second ban out of out of Dad and I. And I mean, they have a few options, right? I could see them ban out mechanics, and it's interesting because it doesn't feel like either team is super heavily favored in a particular skill set. They have their advantages here and there, but it's not like we're going to see one team getting super speed abused, the other team getting reading abused. And so we have potential to see some earlier breakpoints than we normally would, as we are still waiting for that second ban.
Yeah, I do think if anything, Battle of HK are, I think, a fair bit stronger on reading. You've got, if you let them into maps that are like Wowie, Listia, Schwartz, Ethan Tricks maps, like they'll do super well on that stuff. And Dadunai really doesn't have a super strong reading roster, so that would be like the one skill set that I would say I think is definitive in one direction or the other. But there aren't really a whole ton of maps in that bucket anyway, especially once you ban out that No Mod 5 like Dadunai did with that first ban. Other than that, I don't think there's a single other map below AR9 other than DT5, which not a reading map. It just happens to be Area 8.3, but it's like not a reading specialty map. Everything else, I think the next lowest AR in the pool is literally 9.2. And it's going to be a no mod 2 ban, so they just say, you know what, we don't want to have to deal with this team's like stamina flow aim, which I think just makes sense in terms of like we don't. It feels to me like we don't want to play this map as much as anything else.
Yeah, I mean they have Skiatsu and Cherry Tori as well, right? Two players who are pretty good at that kind of skill set. Dadunai do have the first pick, so we'll see if they do want to pick into mechanics. I think I'd see them pick in something a little faster for sure. I mean that there's something like the DT2 at 244 BPM could be a good option for them. Of course, I would be a little more surprised to see them pick DT5, but it's available if they really want to play some AR 8.3 DT non-rating.
I think if anybody's gonna pick DT5 in this matchup, it's probably Battle of HK, and just have like some of their older map kind of players. Like it's ancient grid snap. I'm never as familiar with this DT5, right? If you don't know, I want you, go watch like Aryu or Bonks plays on it or something, right? I'd be surprised if people are unfamiliar with that map. Yeah, I think. Like the DT2's there. I mean, literally, you have the entire DT pool, right? It didn't get touched. So, wouldn't be surprised to see those getting picked, DT2 or 3 or even DT4 for a team that feels fast. But Dadunai is going to start out Hard Rock 1, which is one of the more standard sort of slot maps in this pool, right? It's literally just a Hard Rock 1. Those who are following along with 3WC as well will have seen a different diff of this set in Hard Rock 1 there already, and now we're seeing it here as well. It's 4 minutes, 207 BPM, just kind of a Hard Rock consistency pick, which Dadunai's been good at mechanics. They've had really solid, mechanics aim with kind of light tapping elements, and I think reasonable enough place to start that doesn't like kind of delineate you too much into one box or another.
Yep, should be a good pick for them. We've got Hippo in the lobby for Battle of HK currently. Did have a really good performance last week. I think was 4th overall individually, maybe 3rd overall. But really good performance there. Skiatsu had a very good showing as well. Of course, for Dadunai, you're going to be looking at players like Crystal to put up big scores on just about any map. And Dadunai this tournament has looked really strong on some of the Hard Rocks as well. So another player to watch out for as we wait for a few more Battle of HK players to filter in here.
They'll make their way eventually, I am sure. It'll happen sooner or later. Let's see. Part of the problem, of course, of having such a strong, well-rounded roster is that sometimes you have to make some tough decisions on your roster construction, I suppose.
Yeah, this one not necessarily one of the maps I think they'll have a super tough time on. They don't have a ton of dedicated Hard Rock players to fill this one out, but they've got a strong roster for this Hard Rock one nonetheless. Gatso, Ethan Tricks, Misha, and Hio. And we'll see into our first map if Battle of HK can put up a strong showing early on, or if Dadunai can hold on to their first pick. Doesn't feel like there are any guarantees in this match, so Dadunai obviously don't want to fall behind early, and good luck, have funs in the chat. Here we go into Hippo Cup Winners Finals.
I'm excited. I'm so ready for this one, dude. Like you said, I mean, it just doesn't feel like either team is strictly favored in this matchup, which makes for a really, really fun, really fun match. You just don't know who's gonna win so many of these maps, and we get to go in and enjoy the ride. Forward to this, really. I'm hoping we get a good one here. Love to see both of these teams performing at their best this morning, so we will enter some big aim, and we will see quite a few breaks. It is only David and Ahio left in the lobby. Only 2 players with even a chance of opening up with a 200 combo. Gives you an idea of how difficult this map pool has gotten with these just gigantic game patterns and kind of awkward, like the little slow kick sliders and stuff really can challenge you. And it is now just David over there doing his thing. Crystal as well, backing him up. See what kind of
they're not too far ahead in terms of combo. Battle of HK only gonna be 800,000 points behind. It's not much on a map like this, but you have to find some combo somewhere in this map. So far, Battle of HK, I've not really been able to do that. As they just continue to find chain misses. Their biggest combo is currently 80 on Scat, so thankfully Dadunai have traded their combos down as well, so that's going to slow the bleeding a little bit, but up by 1,000,000 points. It's going to be pretty nice for Dadunai as Ethan Tricks finds another miss. It's a really tricky section. If Fox can hold through this pattern and manages to do so, it's just going to be Dadunai ever so slowly continue to push this score lead. Lado does drop that combo, and it's just Dadunai finding these incremental combo advantages time and time again, and it's added up to 1,000,000 points difference.
And there was a decent combo there on Schiazzo, but does not manage to hold into that difficult aim section, so no chance at bringing this score gap back quite at the moment. And once again, it's Fox who has really been a key member for Dadunai. He's had so many combos so much of the time, just on every type of map you throw his way. A player that I was not as familiar with, admittedly, coming into this tournament, but he's been one of their two best performing players along with Crystal through a lot of this tournament so far, and is a big reason why they're here. And once more, holding some combo where his teammates were dropping. And now it's up to David, though, and just look at, it's no combo. I mean, this map is so difficult, you're just not seeing combos being built up, right, anywhere on the board, and it's just given this 1.3 million score lead, as you don't have the combo to do anything about it if you're Battle of HK. They have Ahio, though, on a 250, making it through this challenging bridge section here.
Yeah, also means if you do somehow manage to hold onto your combo, you can just kind of run away with it solo. And right now, that is what Ahio's looking to do. Reaching the 350 combo mark, hits that pattern as well. Bringing this one back. They're still down by 700,000, but they definitely have time the longer Ahio holds. But the support, not really there for a Battle of HK, although not being matched by anyone on Dadunai either. So Ahio should be bringing this one back. Just hit the stream. That's a chain miss on this stream. Dadunai going to be able to hold on to this score lead as we get a short delay from Boncho, but it looks like it is going to be Crystal now with the highest combo in the lobby. Actually, only a little bit behind Ethan Tricks, and so it's going to really even things out going into the last quarter of the map, and it's going to come down to the chain misses into the ending, as it looks like Crystal has found the miss, as so has Ethan Tricks, though. Oh, not again. It's the Schiazzo incident from 3WC all over again.
This guy just has the worst Bancho connection of anyone in the history of OSU tournaments, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what the deal is, but we're gonna see about getting him reloaded. He's not marked as disconnected in the MP, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, but we'll keep an eye out and see. For now, it's Dadunai with a small lead, and that's all we really know.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the score from Schiazzo, right? It's unclear if that score would put Battle of HK in the lead. I'll have to check on the MP link to be sure. But yeah, it's happened in 3WC the other day as well. Another match I had the joy of commentating.
Yeah, that Friday afternoon match that was the longest best of 13
2 hours long, yeah. Schiazzo kept just like disconnecting, not from the lobby itself, but just from Boncho, so wouldn't show on stream, but would still play through the maps. And hopefully we're not getting that every other map today, but let's
he actually finished. Oh my, wow, we missed out. He finished with a score of 2.9 million, and Dadunai won by 138k, and we missed it because of Schiazzo not having this issue like just over and over and over, and now his client is just completely gone. Okay, what's this phone?
That is new. That's a new one.
No, we're gonna. I can't even panic my client. I literally can't do anything. That is awesome. All right, we're gonna get a quick little client restart, and we'll be back shortly.
Technical difficulties.
I am, and that's actually just because of his connection. I don't know. It's cool.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm sorry for your ears. I'm sorry for your ears. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate. Okay. Hey, so everybody go tell the OSU tournament client on GitHub, like, figure out a way to set the audio and have it save instead of having to reset it every time, so it doesn't do that to you. I'm sorry. Holy moly, that was loud.
I heard nothing on the Discord screen. I'm safe over here.
Consider yourself extremely lucky.
Oh, I do.
Alright, We're back.
Caster advantage. Okay,
Oh.
we're back. Battle of HK with the next pick. Schiazzo back in the lobby. And this is different than what we saw in 3WC. 3WC, of course, Schiazzo would load back in at the end of the map and play through like 3/4 of the map after everybody else had finished playing it.
The solo
Fun
performance.
development. And so we'll see, regardless. Thankfully, though, Schiazzo is not DCing from the lobby at all, so that score is still registering. Of course, getting a full disconnect would be a much bigger issue for Battle of HK. And so there's some consolation there as Battle of HK. They've got a lot of options for picks. We've talked about how good they are at reading. Not really a lot of reading left in this pool, so I think they look quite good on alt-type maps as well. Aim control, and the explanation from Schiazzo disconnects for just a split second, maybe a temporary lapse in internet connection, and it just doesn't reconnect until disconnects and reconnects their Ethernet port, which is obviously you can't do in the middle of a map.
I wonder if he's tried reinstalling his game, like unironically. Try to clean, or just like downloading, you know, like a secondary install and just running it there. I don't know. That's like a really odd, bizarre, particular issue. You could probably open an issue on GitHub, like unironically, and be like, hey, this is happening. Here's the logs. Here's the clips of what happens. I don't know. Anyway, Battle of HK first picking fast. First picking the fast. This is 285 beats per minute.
I thought you were just appreciating how fast they made the pick.
No, they're literally picking the fast. Like, this map is fast. Wow, I didn't know people actually use that command. Hang on. I've never seen anybody use this command before.
Yeah. I mean, there is one correct ban, you know, the no mod 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Leave that one in there, and alright, here we go. This one, incredibly speedy. Does definitely have some tough aim components as well to watch out for. Of course, different rosters. Lucia Tori coming in. Dadunai have really just played the whole tournament with these same 4 players, and it looks like they're not going to be changing that trend in this match. And I have no stream audio back on Discord.
I know why. I can't fix it during the map, though.
All good. So we have a couple misses. T numbers, Listia just going to be trading. Otherwise, Dadunai and Battle of HK still have... Okay, never mind. That's going to be no SCs left for Battle of HK. Still 2 for Dadunai. And a good support on Ladofox. Crystal does drop one of those FCs. Now it's going to be David Hippo trying to match, but it's going to be a little bit behind. And Dadunai have built up a pretty nice lead for themselves, but with how dense this map is, we can very easily see some big swings in terms of score.
Who knew David was a speedy boy? He's actually just out here going off. Best combo in the lobby. Now that I've said that, of course, he'll probably break like forthwith, but it's a 1.5 million score lead for Dadunai. See how long they can maintain it. Already halfway through. This isn't a super long pick, and the breaks are just coming in. Okay, Ahio actually had a Bancho miss, so it wasn't as bad as it might have been otherwise, but there's the reset from him and Misha. And Ladofox and Crystal now to take over. That lead's just growing. Dadunai is just the best team in the world. I don't know. These guys would beat like USA WC 2019 somehow. Like, they just play well enough to beat whoever's in front of them. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, yeah, it feels like they step up every single week. And they seem to continuously get these early leads too, right? It's not like a, you know, close trade of picks. Like, I think the last 2 weeks, they've gotten like these big early leads, thrown them a little bit in the middle of the match, and then recovered at the last second to secure themselves the match. So, again, for the 3rd week in a row, getting themselves an early lead. We'll see if they can extend that to, you know, 3-4 map lead like they have in the past, and maybe not give that lead up in the middle stages, but there's a lot of maps left to be played. This is a best of 13, 15. Of course, so
best of 15. We're gonna be here.
Count, guys, I promise. Just not. It's too early for counting.
It's 10:20 in the morning, and you're an adult with a job. I'm just saying.
I have no excuses. All right, uh, sometimes it amazes me that I am a functioning human being, but I manage, and so do Dad and I. When it comes to clicking the circles, they have the next pick as well, of course. They could very easily put themselves up by 3 with a good pick here.
Yeah, I don't know. This seems crazy, man. Last week they won 7-1, right? Like it just ran with that match. Like you said, they did have a little struggle later on in their quarterfinals match where they dropped a couple maps in a row at the end and ended up winning that 7-5 after being ahead like I don't remember, it was like 6-2 or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's been an impressive run, and now they kind of have picks available to them if they feel like they can win other speedy stuff, right? You've got, well, DT1, DT2, DT3, DT6, and Free Mod 3. Plenty of kind of higher BPM tapping stuff, so there are definitely options for them if they feel like this skill set is one they can continue to have success in.
Yeah, potentially narrowing Battle of HK's potential picks as well. Maybe they feel like they have to, and I keep wanting to say that they're going to have to opt into reading, but there just really isn't much of it.
No,
and not. So they might feel forced to pick back into tapping or switch it up, look for focus maps. Something like the Nomad 8, I think, would look really good for Battle of HK. Just something a little more gimmicky, I think. The more gimmicky, the better for Battle of HK.
And meanwhile, Dadunai are saying we're going the opposite, the exact opposite of gimmick. It's just.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, gimmick is good for Battle of HK.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just saying like what
right.
Dadunai. Yeah, Dadunai picking the exact opposite of what Battle of HK might want. Good. Yeah. And it's like, hey, we're just gonna pick Sunglow DT. Like, it's just Sunglow DT. Everybody, I don't think this needs any introduction. It's just aim with like a couple of little bursts, but it's 10.5 aim DT. User friendly for the high AR aim DT players among us.
Any tournament PP records in match?
I don't actually know what the current. Current tournament PP record is. So that's.
I don't know. I want to say it's somewhere around a low to mid 800. I think it's like 830, like 840 last I saw.
Well, this is 900 for DT only SS, 961 for HD DT SS. So I don't really know that it's necessarily feasible, but I guess.
I mean, I think a DTHD FC would do it, but not that I expect to see a DTHD FC on this in tournament. To be clear, it's wishful thinking.
Let's see if Google will. OWC PP record is 809, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that there's probably something higher than that in the community tournament.
Yeah, I know Karcher got 830.
There's
on
Archer got an 869 on some Nomad 5 or Nomad 2. I'm not sure. I've never heard of this map.
Yeah, I think it was My Heart Will. Ah, yes. That was in Circle Circuits.
This was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's a while back.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, I think it was 830 at the time, but I guess it's been buffed since then. So that one is going to be tough to beat. Thankfully for Dadunai, you don't need to set the tournament PP record to be able to take this point, hopefully, as they're going to be happy with just a strong team score for these 4. And, I mean, both teams with pretty similar rosters to what we've seen so far. It seems like Battle of HK are just going to be switching between, let's say, 5-6 players throughout this match. So a couple more than Dadunai, but not too many, as they've certainly got good aim roster for themselves. So Battle of HK with some good performances can definitely take a breakpoint back on this one.
Let's get into it and see what happens. Feels to me like Dadunai have been a very good team at playing with momentum for the most part. Obviously, the slight comeback from John Poirler, notwithstanding their other matches, they've been a team that gets into leads and just kind of just cruises. Like last week, it just felt like they were unstoppable. So maybe looking to do the same thing again here today. First big jump section. It's going to be a break from Z numbers. David, Shari, Tori, Misha, Awa all trade. So it's Lidofox and Crystal with the FCs into the first verse against Ahio on the FC and Skiatso just the early break. And it's going to be a miss from Crystal. So Lead's going to be going to Battle of HK here in a moment.
Yeah, this is the map where we definitely have potential to see higher combos. It is, I mean, despite the error 10.5, the patterns themselves are relatively comfortable compared to a lot of the rest of this pool, as long as you can read the 10.5. Shari Tori finds another miss, but Battle of HK, as long as they hold on to these two combos on Skiatso, yeah, that's a big miss from the entire lobby, but Skiatso holds on for Battle of HK, and that's going to be the combo you can't afford to lose. Is going to continue to push the score lead now. David, the only combo remaining for Dadunai, now took on. And Skiatso is just going to run away with this one.
Yeah, if he can continue to hold for a bit here, it's going to be a pretty gigantic lead for Battle of HK. It kind of goes back to what we were saying, where every map feels contested. Like, it doesn't matter who's picking a lot of this stuff, because both teams will have somebody with the potential to absolutely go bonkers on it. And at the moment, that is Skiatso for Battle of HK, despite the Dadunai pick. Nearly 800 combo, very, very impressive on this in-match setting, no less. That'll lead up to 5 million. And there's really not going to be much coming back from this one here, unless it's a full reset from Battle of HK and Dadunai all hold, because that's a lot of combo on that side of the screen, and not a lot of combo on the other.
No, I mean, they're down by 7 million, and there is some recovery, but it's being matched by Ahio and Misha, and even if Skiatso misses, they just don't have the advantage to find the comeback. There is the miss from Skiatso. It is a start for Dadunai. There is some hope with a quarter of the map left to go, but it's going to need to be a complete meltdown from Battle of HK into the last quarter of this map. I mean, the ending is very difficult, but Lido and Z numbers both have to FC. Z numbers finds the miss, traded back by Misha, but trades at this point good for Battle of HK. Ahio did drop as well, so it's combo advantage over Dadunai, but its question is whether it will be enough. They're going to run out of time pretty quickly, and Lidofox is going to have to FC the rest of the map.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, is that Lidofox just has to FC the rest of the way, and hope he gets some support as well, which Crystal dropping does not do. He is continuing to hold, which is pretty impressive. That lead is sort of coming down. Lidofox and David both holding some combo here. Wait, this is getting very scary here. If Lidofox keeps holding, wait a minute, he's still on. He hit the stream and everything. It's going to go over. Lidofox heroics in the last moments here into the last Ki, holding an 1150 combo, and it's going to bring the score over to Dadunai. The question of whether or not they had enough time is answered in the affirmative, and they come back from the crazy combo from Skiatso in the first half on Battle HK's side to Dadunai with their own crazy combo on Lidofox in the back half, and backed up by some combo at the end from David and Crystal. Dadunai steal their own point away for a 3-0 consolidated breakpoint lead. Lidofox, the hero of this freaking tournament for Dadunai, man.
Lidofox has been playing so incredibly well all tournament long. Definitely the hero of this roster, and Dadunai knows it as well, right? It feels like on this map they've kind of just put their trust in Lidofox, and puts up the big score. You can single-handedly match half the score of your other team if you get that much combo, and Dadunai are going to be up by 3, as they have managed to do in so many matches before this one. Like you said, they're so good with momentum. They could look to take another breakpoint here, because it doesn't necessarily feel like Battle of HK have any guaranteed picks. So they need to find the right map to fight back on, stop the momentum, and get themselves at least a point on the board. You want to say leaderboard?
I'm kind of with you on the Battle of HK situation, where it feels like they should probably find something kind of gimmicky. And I don't know if maybe I just have a misread on that team, because it feels like they've been picking a lot of mechanics instead.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because they don't have a lot of reading picks in the pool, but man, I would think, like, you've got Nomad 4, you've got Nomad 7 and 8, like, you know, kind of open up the pool a little bit wider, and they're going to kind of do that. They're going to go free mod 5, so we are going to see something non-standard, something a bit weird, shall we say, with Naples Yellow Mango. Of course, this the OWC Grand Finals set. That was that the top diff? I think it was a top diff in this. It was the Hollow Wings diff with Fonjin, whichever one that may be. But this is a Sing and Xarius diff on that same set. Crazy sliders and aim control requirement in this map. And I like this move from Battle of HK. Just switch it up. Go something different. See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, especially when they have some of the best players in the world on this kind of skill set. I think Woey is going to be the notable one, of course, but Ethan Trix also incredibly strong on these kind of maps. Listia can play these. We haven't really seen Schwartz much for Battle of HK. Don't expect to see Schwartz here since this map is not much of a rating map, but Ethan Trix gonna be a player to keep an eye on. Was absolutely popping off in 3WC yesterday to the US.
Ethan Trix, a dude who's playing really, really good Osu over the past, past while, but especially in the last couple months between this tournament and 3WC and whatever else he may be in, has really shown up time and time again in this tournament as well. As you mentioned, playing really well last night in 3WC. So see what he can do here. And again, you know, I think something that you have to consider if you're Battle of HK, right, is pick into skill sets that the limited roster of Dadunai will struggle with. If you only have a roster of 5 players or so, like, there's going to be stuff that they will not be able to cover as well in all likelihood. So you just have to find what that is and see if there's multiple picks in the pool along those lines so that you can, you know, maybe get a couple of points in a row and try to gain some of the momentum back for yourself. So this, if this works out, you know, there's other options along the along similar lines. We'll see what they can do to get back into the match.
Yeah, this tournament, more than any other, the 4-player roster makeup doesn't necessarily matter. You can be 4th player on a map. You can even be 3rd player on a map. As long as you have 2 really strong scores, sometimes even 1 is enough, you're going to put yourself in a good spot. So I think, like I said, Battle of HK, pick maps that you have at least 1, maybe 2 players that can put up really good scores on, and try and keep them in the lobby as much as possible. As we get into this, this free mod 5, it looks like it's just going to be hiddens on both sides at Battle of HK, taking 1 extra. Don't really expect the multiplier to be much of a factor, as that's a pretty rough pattern. Ethan Trix, the only one to get through it, but it's early enough and it's not going to make a huge difference. It's an incredibly difficult map, though, as we're going to see more misses throughout the lobby. Into the slider section, Ethan Trix, biggest combo in the lobby, now falling, and Crystal and David both managed to hold. David now dropping, but this one is going to remain relatively close for the start of the map, as we're going to see misses likely traded on both sides. The question is, can any player build up a decent combo? And so far, the only player looking to do so is Crystal.
He does have support from Ladofox and from Kurumi, so we'll see how long those couple can hold. Of course, you've got Ethan, Ahio, Skia all holding some combo on the side of Battle of HK. And now it's a pretty big reset from Dadunai, just leaving Crystal with combo against Ethan and Skia. He falls as well, and just like last map, it's Skia on some big combo, the last player remaining in the lobby with a noteworthy amount of combo to his name. And it's going to be the lead now going to Battle of HK here in this middle portion of the map, with a little bit of easier combo as well, so we'll be able to build that score up even more.
Yeah, 1 million points is honestly a fair margin on this map. That's a big miss from Skiatso, though. Ladofox, Crystal, both on good recoveries. And now, Dadunai, we're starting to bring it back, but those couple misses have evened things out. That's a big one from Ladofox. Now it's all on Crystal once again, but unfortunately, being matched by Ethan Trix, Battle of HK have the better support. And if they can hold on to these combos for a little bit longer, they should be able to close this one out. If they find misses on those combos, we see one from Skiatso. Crystal does have the combo to bring this one back at the last second.
Yeah, he would need some help, though, because Ethan Trix is going off here. He's got a matching combo, and with the hidden on top, so a little bit of added score multiplier. And if this is Skia again, I'm going to lose my mind. And I bet it is.
Hey, we made it most of the way through the map this time. That is an improvement.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that Battle of HK should be able to take this, but they don't have much combo to support. Oh, okay, I'm going to... Bancho? Surely that was Bancho, right? Nope, just everyone on Dadunai just evaporated. Okay, everyone on Dadunai evaporated. Ethan Trix is just going to win the map now. Good job, Ethan Trix.
That's also a crazy combo from Ethan Trix. I think 600 on this. It's very difficult. And Battle of HK finally secure themselves a point. They slow the momentum, and where you have a match on our hands.
Yeah, no 8-0 sweep today. Not that that was ever a real concern, but, you know, strictly speaking, it was still possible at the time. That missed sound
And it
at the end
wasn't
is so strong.
Schiazzo this time.
Yeah, it was Ladofox, I guess. I'm not really sure because it's still match in progress in the MP. Okay, here we go. We'll get a little Ladofox by himself, but okay, there it is. It is a 3.6 million score win for Battle of HK on this one. So well done to them there. Man, that Ethan score is actually nuts. Crystal almost kept up too. Crystal was not super far behind, but superior supporting score for Battle of HK there as well. The 4.5 million on Schiazzo was very useful to have as well. So
yeah, it all really adds up, and when you do have two players that put up these big combos on either side, it still does come down to the supporting combos. So always going to matter. Of course, Dadunai have the next pick. They can take things away from Gimmick and go right back to what's been working for them. Eventually going back to mechanics, going back to tapping, and they have quite a few options available. I mean, they have so much open still in the DT pool that you expect to look pretty good for them. And even if they wanted to look for, I don't know, like a Hard Rock potentially, I could see that looking good for them, but a little bit riskier, it feels like.
I mean, the Hard Rock that you have left is like, you know, kind of a standard alt map in the Hard Rock 2, and then a kind of more flowy alt map in the Hard Rock 3. So I don't know how good they're going to feel about those as compared to the Hard Rock 1 that was just kind of the raw aim, but definitely options, strictly speaking. I think the DT2 might be a good shout, kind of that finger control DT. DTs 3 and 6, they're both a little more techy, right? It's like they're kind of comma maps. So we'll see if they decide to pick those at some point. But it's going to be the Hard Rock too, so it is going to just be alt Hard Rock. This is another one in common with 3WC. This was in 3WC qualifiers. And this is a pedal alt map, right? So you know what you're getting. It's just a very varied alt pick. It's going to have flow, it's going to have snap, it's going to have some very difficult patterning. Very what you see is what you get with when you see a pedal alt. Like you know exactly what the map is.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really big test for both teams. In my mind, not necessarily on Hard Rock, but on alt generally, it feels like Battle of HK have a very strong roster, and so this is going to be a big test for them. I think if you fall behind, end up losing by a lot, all of a sudden alt becomes a lot scarier to pick. But if you can put up a good performance here, even get a breakpoint, all of a sudden there are quite a few alt maps in the pool that you could very easily look to pick, but we'll see. This one is another one that could go either way, right?
Yeah, and I think alt as a skill set is something that is generally speaking pretty open. A lot of different people are going to be good at this sort of thing, so even if you do win this, I don't know if it makes you necessarily eager to pick into more alt, so much as it's just like, yeah, we can pick more alt if we think we can do that every time. You know, it's not a skill set to me where it's like, okay, we're obviously better at this, let's pick all of it straight in a row. But yeah, I mean, you do have you have No Mod 3, Hard Rock 3. This isn't really a free mod alt map, so there are a couple of options, and so we'll see how it goes. I don't hate it for Dadunai, of course, as a team that's been generally good at Hard Rock, and obviously had two Hard Rocks banned against them here. So I do like the thought process, but
Yep. And you mentioned it was played in 3WC qualifiers, and it looks like Crystal and David both played the map, no mod, of course, rather than having to play at Hard Rock. And Crystal put up a very respectable 800,000 points. I think David put up about 400k. So this time around, Hard Rock making this one a lot more difficult than when these two players last played the map, but we know Crystal at least can put up a solid score on this one. I don't think the Hard Rock adds so much difficulty that the map becomes unplayable, so there's a general idea of what to watch out for. So you're going to need either tricks to switch sides, and we're just waiting on that last player from Dadunai and a couple more players from the Battle of HK. I expect it to be more or less the same players we've seen so far. Schiazzo will probably come back in, and Misha has been doing well for them also.
Man, it looks like there is your roster for that side. And indeed, seeing a fair amount of the same players in this match. No Wowie, Listia, or Ice Shark as of yet for Battle of HK, and no Survivor, no Vita, no Dadunai, and no XZ. So Dadunai doing that 5-man roster thing as well. But that's more to be expected, I think, from them than Battle of HK. Every point is a test. You're up a break point. You got to win your own maps, and you know, that's like goal number one is make sure you defend the break point and worry about getting more break points later. And in we go as Dadunai continues to try to do that.
We still have a long way to go in this match. Plenty of time to trade breakpoints back and forth. Early misses for both teams, going to keep things relatively even. And there's plenty of time to build up your combo in this map. So those early misses, not too impactful. It's going to be misses on the next KI that are really going to start to matter.
Yeah, the combo's starting to build up on the FCs, and Dadunai struggling a little bit. They've had 3 players already break just in this beginning section. Meanwhile, it's a triple FC still for Battle of HK, so the lead will go over to the right-hand side of the screen there. We'll see how big it can get. Wow, it's another break, and now it's David gone. No FCs left for Dadunai. Meanwhile, Ahio, Misha Awa, and Schiato all holding the full combos for Battle of HK. Early on, starting to not look so great already, as that leads 4 million score, and I mean, we're barely a third of the way to the map.
Yeah, 4 million is so much on a map like this one, and they're just not missing. We do finally see a couple misses from Battle of HK, but they still have 2 big combos, and really at this point, they only need to hold one of them. You just kind of need somebody to match Crystal, and as long as somebody matches Crystal, there's not really any way to throw this one. Of course, you do now have Ladofox not too far behind, so Dadunai have their chances. There is still half the map to be played, but it's a lot of ground to make up.
I'm not even going to say it. Wow, guess who? Oh my god. This guy's gonna make matches actually unwatchable for like every tournament he's in, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully
we're gonna have no idea what happens the rest of the map.
Well,
So
it's
cool.
safe to assume Battle of HK are winning. I think they might very well win this one 3v4. Like, their big combos are Ethan Tricks and Misha, right? Schiato had found the miss regardless, so it's kind of just, if either of those players can hold, it's going to be a win for Battle of HK. If Crystal misses, it is also an instant win for Battle of HK. There goes Ethan Tricks. Misha still holding, nails that pattern. There goes Crystal, and that is going to be the point for Battle of HK.
Yeah, they're going to win this regardless. No. I don't know if I can objectively say that this was like a mispick for Dadunai because I get where they were coming from, but just a very strong performance from Battle of HK here with the big early combos. They just went out to the early lead, and that was all she wrote pretty much. Dadunai unable to pick up any sort of consistency on the map while Battle of HK held on through a lot of it. So that is well done. And that's the break point back over as well. So that'll be a 3-2 score. And I don't care. Oh, it's going to force us to watch it regardless. All right, whatever.
Yep.
You can't actually panic out of that, but it also doesn't matter because it's only like the last 2 seconds anyway.
The danger of picking this alt map as well is now it's going to give Battle of HK some added confidence going forward, and it was the first alt-focused pick we've seen so far. There is a good amount of it left in the pool. You don't also have to go strictly for alt. You do have a more gimmicky and control picks if you're looking towards something like Nomad 8, Free Mod 4, I think would be great options for them. Or of course, if you do want to go back to alt, there is the Nomad 3, which is your more standard, I guess, alt map in the Nomad category. And do have that's kind of it for the free mods.
I think you go. You could could go for Nomad 1, I guess. Otherwise, you go like Nomad 3 or 4, I feel. Maybe Nomad 8. I think those are kind of the maps I would be choosing from if it were me picking this map for Battle of HK.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I feel like I have to pick something like completely off the wall in these matches. It is the Nomad 3 though. We got that one right, and this makes a lot of sense. They're going right back to alt, and they have so many good alt players on this map. I mean, even Woe is incredibly good at these alt picks. Hasn't been in yet, but it's nice that Battle of HK realistically have more than just 4 players that can perform well on these kind of picks.
And this one is a little bit different as far as alt goes, right? Because it does have, you know, kind of that weird... What is going on with my client? Hello? It does have that kind of weird rhythm change stuff. It has some, like, 1/6 bursts and whatnot in it. This being a KTG map, that shouldn't be super surprising. So it's not quite as traditional, straightforward alt as we just saw in the Hard Rock 2, which is literally just, like, baby's first Nomad 3. But it has quite a bit of the same skill set involvement, obviously. And yeah, I think this is, you know, we talked pretty much the whole match about this being a skill set that Battle of HK was going to be good at, so makes a lot of sense. And yeah, Dadunai, 3 points in a row to start off the match. Now they've dropped the next 2 afterwards, so we'll see if they can kind of right the ship here. Went away, of course, from what got them there on those first few maps with the last couple, so we'll have to see, you know, either it'll be, you know, maybe try to pick up a win on a skill set outside the comfort zone, or they'll have to get back to stuff that is more normal to them. Meanwhile, Battle of HK, a lot of options in the pool for stuff that it feels like is along those lines of just let's play not mechanics. There's a lot of those picks for them, so I think they'll have their choice of quite a few options going forward, especially if this map goes well for them.
Yeah, they absolutely will. We're seeing Tori. And it was, of course, Misha who put up the really big score on the Battle of HK, top scoring that last alt map by a pretty significant margin. And of course, Trix and Crystal were the other 2 strong performers. But both teams have other players that can put up good scores on this. So we've seen Ludo absolutely popping off. We know Skiatso plays these very comfortably and has also put up some crazy scores in this match. So a lot of players for both teams that have potential to put up carry performances here. It just comes down to who is feeling good on the day, who can find that consistency, and Battle of HK have a chance now to tie things up for the first time in this match.
Let's see what everybody's comfort looks like on this. It also feels a little bit like Dadunai's hidden players might struggle a bit on some of these gimmick maps, so something to watch out for as David finds the early multi-miss, but Skiatso trades it out, so not going to be the end of the world. Next is Crystal, though. Not the guy you want to see breaking if you're Dadunai. Generally speaking, your best player. Let's see if he can settle in here. So 3 FCs to 2.
Especially because one of those FCs is currently on 89% accuracy, doesn't indicate a lot of comfort in the map. So some slight concern there for Dadunai. At the very least, David has a good recovery with good accuracy as well. But Battle of HK do find a big miss on Trix, but all 3 other players holding strong. That's a big double break from Dadunai. It is now Z Numbers finds the break, and now Crystal, the only player with any combo for Dadunai. Battle of HK are going to get a massive advantage here with Skiatso and Misha holding. Tori at the very least misses, but there's so much scored lead for Battle of HK now.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge that they have Misha and Skiatso holding with both on larger combo than Crystal. And already coming down to the last quarter of the map, so it's very, very over at this stage. It's just going to be a matter of how big this score gap can get and whether Misha Awa can close this out. Also, he does not have no fail on the client. I just realized that, but it also doesn't actually matter. I'm just not worried about it at this stage. Because they were going to win this no matter what with an FC. So it's like actually chill. And
there you go.
Maybe we've found a weakness for Dadunai here. It's, you know, get them away from the mechanics stuff. Get them onto some of these maps with some gimmick element to them. And they might struggle a little bit. You see the B rank there on Z Numbers. You see nobody over 5 million. Misha Awa and Skiatsu both kind of going nuts on that. And that's 3 points in a row as well. So Battle of HK saying we can figure out some momentum for ourselves here.
Yeah, Misha's really stepped up on these alt picks for Battle of HK, putting up back-to-back incredibly strong scores. And that was a hidden FC as well. Not something you'd expect, but Dadunai do have the next pick. They have the chance to, I think, pick away from the alt now, get themselves back some momentum, because after a strong early start, Battle of HK have now won 3 in a row. So now Dadunai are going to be feeling the pressure to stop the momentum from their end.
Yeah, and I think, to me, it feels like Dadunai might be forced a little bit back into the mechanics here, right? You've got to, I think you've kind of just got to go back to that stuff. You know, there's the DTs we talked about. There's the free mod 3, no mod 1 if they want to go aim is also up there. They're gonna go the DT 3 though, so it is going to be one of those DTs. It's gonna be Smile of Split DT. Notably, you know, not just a raw mechanics double time map. Of course, this is you know, kind of swing rhythm with some sliders and some doubles and some finger control and such. So it's not, you know, quite as raw mechanics as like Sunglow was, for instance, or something like, I don't know, last week's DT pool with multiple just raw, you know, tapping picks. But still gonna be that 10.3. Still gonna be a little bit of the finger control and stuff that you would anticipate. This is a contestable map, but I like that Dadunai are going back to something that feels a little more comfortable for them.
Yeah, I mean, the DT has looked good for them for most of the tournament. It's looked good for them when we did see it earlier in this match. Of course, not necessarily going to be the same style of DT, but it's always best to go back to what has worked for you, even if it's not necessarily what you expect to be picking going into the match. As I think we're largely just going to see the same lineups for both teams. Probably just Cherry Tori out, and otherwise it's going to be the same.
I, for one, am shocked that we're going to see similar players when one team has 5 members that play at all, and the other team seems to have maybe 5 as well. Actually, have we only seen... Oh, hang on. Yeah, we've seen 11 players, so far, out of 18, and we're 6 maps in. A lot of bench for these rosters on this pool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is very difficult to get 9 players that are available to play at a specific time. So it's nice to have the options available, but of course, very rare, I think, to have a full 9-player roster available. But and so you just find a time that your 4 strongest players, your 5 strongest players are available for, and let them do their thing. And that's what both these teams have done to a pretty high level so far in this tournament. That's why they are the ones in the winners finals. So we're going into the DT3.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very interesting one. I don't know that we've really seen a map quite like this so far with this kind of finger control slider heavy DT. And, well, you're seeing plenty of struggles all over the place in the intro is what you're seeing. But a couple big combos over on Battle of HK with Sharitori and Ahio both holding through. Crystal and David doing their best to match, though. It's going to stay close early on, which is what you like to see.
Yeah, Dadunai, they do have some recoveries. They have a chance to capitalize if Battle of HK find misses, but yet to miss. I mean, Skiatsu dropped earlier, but otherwise looking strong. Traded from Crystal and Skiatsu. It's going to be too impactful because both teams are still holding on to their bigger combos, but Battle of HK going to continue to push the score lead here into the second half of the map. They have a 1 million point score lead. That's a big miss from Ahio, but traded back by Z numbers. And now it's David facing off against it was Sharitori, but Sharitori's found the miss as well. And Dadunai are going to storm back into the lead as long as David can hold. And they're still halfway, but really David just needs to reach the 800 combo mark, and it's going to be almost secured for Dadunai.
This is really impressive performance from David over there. Will, like you said, need to keep going a bit longer to secure this. It's only a 1 million score lead with still a third of the map to go, but not a huge amount of combo on Battle of HK to try to bring it back. But just keep holding, man. He's just going to hold the combo, and it doesn't matter at that point. If he FCs the rest of the map, they're going to be more than comfy here. This is very, very impressive stuff. You do have Misha, Awa, and Ahio holding some big combos, so they are poised. But Crystal on the backup, Lildofox and Z-Numbers both building up a bit. There goes Misha Awa, there goes Skiatso, and that is going to be what the doctor ordered for Dadunai on this pick, going back into a skill set that maybe felt a little more comfortable for them and just getting an absurd score here out of David. Look at him go into the ending with a 1250 plus combo, and that score gap is going to end up being something like 10 million coming into the ending. What a play when they needed it to get the momentum back maybe a little bit in this match. Wow.
Yeah, such an impressive score, David. Not going to be too far behind the team score from Battle of HK. I mean, once your combo gets up that high on score v1, the score scaling is absolutely crazy. And I think we have pretty clear directions now for the rest of this match from both teams.
Yeah, I think so. I seems to be perhaps somewhat crystallized into what skill sets these teams should be picking here. And expect to see more of the tapping for as long as it lasts out of Dadunai. We're going to continue to see, I think, some of that tech and control stuff from Battle of HK. And, man, we got a battle on our hands as long as those maps last, which, I mean, heck.
I mean, they should, yeah.
They've
got so many options. I mean, it's only 3 picks left for these teams, and there's enough tapping, enough aim control in the bullet to sustain that.
It's 4 picks left for Battle of HK, 3 for Dadunai, yeah. 4 potential tiebreakers. So you've got Nomad 4, Nomad 7, Nomad 8, Fremod 1, perhaps, as well, if you're Battle of HK.
Yeah, I mean, potentially Fremod 4 too, right?
That one's so weird, though, right? Because that's like aim, but awkward aim.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird pick, I think, in this matchup. I don't know who necessarily would be best suited with that one. Dadunai, you've got, I think, Nomad 1 personally, and then also DT2, DT6, Fremod 3, all up there. So, choices, choices, choices. Give me the Nomad 8 for Battle of HK. I think kind of anticipated this one. This is Genga Ozo, but not the one you know. This is Genga Ozo A-side. That being said, this certainly bears some similarities to the one that you do know. It's got that KTG-ster thing going on with it, so with all the vertical aim control, finger control, awkward split cut, sewing machine, sign a secret heart, all that jazz.
Yeah, the finger control requirement on a map like this is so insanely brutal. I'm wondering if we do finally see a Wowie for Battle of HK. I feel like this would be one of those maps that Wowie would play, but we'll see, as we might see XC in for the first time in this match as well.
When was the last time we actually saw him at all? I don't know that he played last week. He did not play a single map last week, so it's our first time seeing him in at least 2 weeks if he stays in for this one. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, might have played the week before that against Sean Porler. I feel like I remember XC playing at least one map.
Like a map, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like this pick for Battle of HK. Based on what we've seen of them on some of these more awkward picks, the way they looked on Fremod 5 and on Nomad 3. I think this is a really good option for them. I would be pretty surprised to see Dadunai be super competitive on this map, but score v1, if you get one person who can put up a really good score on it, you can make the map a lot more interesting than it may have been otherwise, so we will let them do their thing, and who knows, maybe they'll surprise us.
That's too long. It looks like it's actually going to be Sheritori, Theo, Skiatso, Ethan Tricks, and for Battle of HK. Honestly, a very strong roster on a map like this. It's going to be a tough one to beat for Dadunai, but they may very well have their chances on this one. And it's only 2 minutes long, so These early misses are going to matter quite a bit, and this is one where we can see massive accuracy differences. Honestly, it's score v1. It's not going to matter at all unless we see really, really low combos.
Yeah, Ack is kind of a social construct on Score V1, just as irrelevant. The outside of group stage was the only time that Ack mattered. And well, let's see how it goes for everybody. This intro gives you a little time to build up some free combos, so that's nice. You get some score on the board no matter what before the map really loads in to the more difficult stages. And hey, look, guys, it's KTGster, except not mapped by KTGster.
Honestly, the best kind of match.
It's funny how like he has just he always, or not always, but very, very often maps the exact same thing, but it's always cool, so it just doesn't matter.
It feels like it just works every time.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm a little bit biased though as a KTGster enjoyer. We're into one of the harder sections. I mean, this map only gets harder as it goes on, but already these are some incredibly difficult patterns. These battles are very tricky to keep up with, and especially when you get into the quads, the triples mixed in there as well. We're going to see more misses, and we've already seen a bunch already. It's 2 FCs to 2, Hippo, Ethan Chicks, Crystal, and David, but honestly, slightly better support from Dadunai, not enough to make a huge difference, as this one is going to remain incredibly close until we see the next big miss from one of these players on full combos.
Yeah, and I do want to point your attention to the Ack we talked about, Ladofox down at 86 on the hidden, which again, it's not going to be overly affecting the score, but it does mean that he is clearly less comfortable with this map. You can tell he's cheesing the hell out of these doubles with all these 50s. And there is going to be the break. Like, it was just kind of a matter of time to me for that to happen when you can't play the map the way it's designed to be played. XZ and David, and there goes Crystal as well. And now we're just going to watch Ahio because this map is now over.
Oh, Ahio finds the miss, but
my bad.
Has done the work. Yeah, that is like in that extra 5 seconds that Ahio held the combo, built up a 5 million score lead, and Battle of HK looking so good on these gimmicky aim control picks. They got another point, and they're going to keep this one tied up. They were down by 3 earlier in this match, and they're not ready to go back.
No, and you know, that was kind of a fake 3-0 anyway, right?
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just a 1 break point and then winning 2 of their own picks for Dadunai, so it wasn't like it was a double break or anything, and obviously Battle of HK, super, super strong on their maps, and that's another example, as they have now won 3 of their own picks in a row, which all have been some of these, you know, more gimmicky maps like we were talking about for the longest time. Like, this team is clearly super good at this stuff. And I mean, really, it was just the kind of confusing DT4 first pick, but other than that, they've gone into the stuff that we expected them to be strong in this particular matchup. Also, shout out Skia Ack.
Like, yeah, I did notice that Ack. Yeah. That is crazy on hidden.
I noticed it like during while I was talking about Ladofox's bad Ack on the map. I was like, wait, Skia, hello. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. It's a shame about the misses, but nonetheless, pretty crazy Ack. So 4-4, 3 picks left per team, which is bizarre. That's a lot of maps total if you do the math, but I think we still know some picks that we're likely to see from both teams, even this far through. Yeah,
and it's interesting. I think if I'm counting correctly, which is not always the case, but it feels like Dadunai have 3 kind of more tapping focused mechanics maps that they can pick. They're not going to run out of picks. Battle of HK, on the other hand, have kind of 2 heavy aim control alt maps that feel good for them, and then it's the last pick for them that gets a little bit sketchier.
Well, to my eye, Dadunai has DT2, DT6, and Fremod 3 if they just want to pick that sort of skill set. And there indeed is going to be that Fremod 3, so right in line. Battle of HK will have... I mean, they have what? Nomad 4, they have Fremod 1, and then Nomad 6 and 7. So I do think they have options here.
Okay, yeah, I can see the Nomad 6 and 7 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, not Nomad 6, sorry, I forgot. Nomad 6 is like the Jellyfish Jam map, so Nomad 7, not Nomad 6 as much. So Nomad 4, Nomad 7, Fremod 1. Nomad 6 was like Habib saying, oh, Dada fooled Jellyfish Jam in USC, I'm going to do the same thing. It's 30 seconds of 8-star aim. But
Yeah, which is not something Battle of HK have been able to get a point on so far, so definitely not going to be picked for them.
and
And
this
potentially a pick for Dadunai if they really want to switch it up randomly for some reason.
I don't know. That'd be a big question mark for me if they went
It'd
that
be a
route.
reach, yeah.
And this is like the most. This is a custom map that I think I've ever seen. Like, I looked at this map for 3 seconds and I was like, I wonder what tournament this was a custom Nomad 5 for. Because you look at this and it's just like the most blatant high BPM tapping custom map you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, not sure who Battle of HK puts in on this one. I think in this match we're going to see quite a few players having a pretty bad time. But with how much combo is available in this map, the solo carry potential is off the charts.
I wonder if this is too fast for Ice Shark. Do you think this is too fast for Ice Shark?
I honestly not sure.
I'm not
We
sure
also
what his
not
BPM
seen...
cap is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could find out.
Yeah, Ethan, Ahio, Misha, Awa right now. I guess we'll find out. Okay, players are going to be switched at the very, very last second before it loads into the map, so we'll get to see who it actually is. But guess what? It's David, Kurumi, Ladofox, and Z numbers for Dadunai. Crazy, I know. You never expected that to happen on a speed map. And it's going to be Shari Tori as the 4th for Battle of HK, so... Indeed, no Ice Shark, who I just think of as a tapping player is why I mentioned his name, but I think this might be a little fast for him. I'm not positive, but either that or he's not here. We haven't seen him yet, but I mean, they also haven't really played him maps, so like hard to say what the reason there is.
Ice Shark is gone. Apparently, we have confirmation from Listia. So, into this speed pick, and the one thing about both teams now having very clear directions is that if either team does manage to find a break point, it is absolutely massive because it can be so tough to find a break point back. I think each team has given up one break point earlier on, but since then have been doing a good job of winning their own picks. And here we go into these absolutely brutal streams. We do see early misses coming out from from Kurumi as well as Ahio, but good recoveries on Battle of HK, and 3 SCs strong as that's a miss from Xeno, traded back by Shari Tori, and it is just 2 misses traded, but that's a full reset from Dadunai, and 2 FCs going strong for Battle of HK. Could this be a break point? There is still half a map to go as Xantrix finds the miss, but if Ahio holds on for another, I don't know, 10 seconds in this map, it's going to be over. It might already be.
Yeah, and he also appears to be the only person in the lobby who can actually play the map. If you look, he's the only. He's got 98.79 act. And like we talked about, this is what happens. I mean, this could even happen on V2 at this point. But especially noticeable on V1, where it's like you have one person who can play the map, like you just win it, because literally no one else in the lobby is clearly at all anything approaching comfortable on this pick. I mean, this is like open rank late stage Nomad 5 type of map, right? This is so difficult. And Ahio's just shredding it.
Oh.
Well, he was
good
shredding
timing.
it. He was shredding it.
Yeah.
And that's big, though, man. This is a huge break point, like you were saying.
Yeah, and it's not just Ahio, right? Xantrix is not too far behind. I think only 2 million points behind Ahio. And so Battle of HK really, just with the better team score overall, Dadunai didn't have anyone to match either of those combos. I mean, Ladofox had a good attempt, but not nearly enough, and speed all of a sudden not working out for Dadunai. In Battle of HK, they only need 2 picks now to win this one, and we've talked about they definitely have 2 good options at the very least, and likely more if they do end up giving a breakpoint back.
Well, they need 3 because it's best of 15, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, it's just not showing on the client, I guess.
The client does not handle best of 15. That's why there's a fake star.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it's just like not visible.
Oh no, I just did not notice the fake star.
Yeah,
it looks different. My brain is just like, yeah, it's not there.
Yeah, there's like a fake extra star because the client, if you go to best of 15, it changes it to saying like 0 of 8, like literally just the number instead of having the stars. So this is the silly workaround that you have to do for large best ofs because attorney client lol. But that is big for Battle of HK. it was kind of a concern going into the true just raw speed, which is why I think I would have rather seen Dadunai go like a DT2 there instead. Just because, like, if you have one player who's better at that speed, it can be a huge advantage. And now Battle of HK, right? They've got No Mod 4, they've got No Mod 7, they've got 3 Mod 1. If they can play DT5, they've even got DT5. I don't know who in this lobby can play that map, though. So, choices to try to consolidate this break point and push them to their 6th map of the match.
Yeah, I think they're in a pretty comfortable spot. I think likely to win this one, assuming they don't give over breakpoint, and the No Mod 4 comes out exactly as expected. We have got Void Crossing, so of course this one can be pretty heavy on the slider tech. As with any tech map at this stage, you're going to have aim control elements as well.
Now this one, of course, coming at you straight from OWC 2024. I believe it was semifinals No Mod 4. So everybody's going to be familiar with this this map set. I don't remember which of the two diffs it was. I don't remember if it was the top diff or this diff that was used in that tournament. But it's just a ridiculously challenging slider aim map. And, well, Battle of HK has proven themselves very strong on, well, about everything in this match realistically at this point. But especially the sort of non-traditional, more gimmicky picks, so very good option.
Yeah, it's the kind of map you generally expect to see significantly lower combos on pretty much across the board, which means the impact of individual combos is a lot less, and you do expect it to come down to the team performance unless we see a crazy pop-up from anyone, which we have seen in this match, so I can't discount it quite yet, but looks like we are going to be seeing David, Kurumi, Crystal, and Ladofox in again for Dadunai. So playing these check picks and just waiting on one more. I expect that to be Skiatso for Battle of HK, and there they are.
We're reaching very deep stages of this match to still have only seen like 11 total players. We just know who we're going to see because that's all that either team has. Opens up to 12 now, I apologize. 2 of those have only played one map, though. Wait, are we getting Schwartz? Oh my god, it's a new player.
We might get a new one.
Alright, we get player number 13. Alright, we're doing things.
A new challenger is approaching.
Still no Wowie, still no Listia. Obviously, Ice Shark gone, and Dadunai doing the Dadunai thing. We know they're only going to have like 4 or 5 players. I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
But, this is a big one now. Dadunai gonna have to figure something out and get a break point on these last couple of picks because they're gonna run out of time in this match relatively soon if they can't get the break point back. Obviously, you know, even if Battle of HK win this, they're still a couple points away from the finish line, but the match kind of starts to trend in their direction as the pool gets dwindled down in terms of available maps.
Already, we've seen almost the entire lobby find misses, unsurprisingly. Ladofox approaching 300 combo is honestly quite a strong combo on this map. If you can get 300 even a couple times, that's going to be a good score for you, but Schwartz is up there showing good performance. As I said, does find the miss. Skiatso drops as well now. We're going to see a bunch of misses on this map, so you have to kind of wait a few seconds before, I guess, calling out the miss, as Lado's miss was a Boncho, so still on 500 combo, and that's going to be massive for Dadunai, and getting a breakpoint back here would be so huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left, though, and Ladofox is not getting much support from the team, so we'll see. He's going to have to continue to hold this knots. This section is, like, surprisingly tricky, right? It looks a little easier because it's not the big, giant sliders, but still easy to miss on that aim control, and it's resets all over the place. It's now Schwartz and Skiatso on the big combos for Battle of HK. You do have Crystal and David, though, with some combo for Dadunai, trying to cling to this lead, but I believe it is combo advantage to Battle of HK, and the supporting combo helping them out just a little bit. Oh, the big break from Skia, though, and that's going to stem the bleeding. Dadunai still have Crystal and David on the combo. Schwartz doing what he can alongside Ethan Tricks. But it's about a 1 million score lead for Dadunai as they've managed to get through a little bit of this somewhat easier section. It's going to be still the ending to come, but it's going to be a close one that Dadunai are favored in at the moment. Oh, no! Ethan time.
Yeah, that is absolute disaster for Dadunai, and now Battle of HK have the time to bring this one back, but Ethan needs to hit the entire ending. It is not easy to do. nailing that aim control section. The score flips back over, find the miss, but has Ethan done enough? It looks like it, and Dadunai, a great chance to get a break point back, but just not able to close it out, and Battle of HK are now only 2 points away.
Man, that is brutal for Dadunai, dude. They just needed to hold on for a little bit longer and couldn't do it. Battle of HK, that gigantic combo on Ethan when they most needed it, and just backing score big enough to build the lead out at the end. That is rough scenes for Dadunai, who looked like they might be able to get the break point right back. Didn't manage to do it. And, man, 3 maps in a row now twice for Battle of HK, right? They lost the first 3, won the next 3. Dadunai got a pick, and then Battle of HK have won the 3 maps since then. So 6-4 goes the score. And now your must win for Dadunai on your own pick to avoid going down match point. And I feel like this has to be DT2. I'm not really sure what else is going to feel at all comfortable for them.
Yeah, I would assume so. Seems to be the best option left available. I guess it's possible we could see them switch up. We got Nomad 6 instead.
Well,
30-second aim map.
Yeah, this is just the throw caution to the wind. YOLO map is how somebody described it. It's been a factor in several tournaments, right? I mean, we remember going all the way, if you go all the way back to, wait, oh, he put the wrong, that's not the right, wait, it is the right map. Did this get updated today? This got updated today. Oh my God. All right, that is awesome. Hang on one sec.
Alright, so we'll take a second for the players to update their maps then. So we'll take a little bit of extra time to get this one going. But I do think the pick still slightly favors Dadunai. Of course, not by any large margin. It is quite a risky pick, but Dadunai feels like it is their best chance at getting a point back, and they desperately need one now.
Why did they update this today? That's unreal. They updated this 8 hours ago. Freaking heck.
Very, very inconsiderate of them not to wait for all the Hippo Cup matches to be done to update their map.
All right, sorry for your ears in advance. Jesus.
Lower your volumes.
All right,
protect yourselves.
I think I managed to keep it to like 1 second, so hopefully it's okay. 13, 4, 5, 6. I hate how far down you have to scroll to get to the setting I need. There it is.
Yeah, hopefully, and I can't imagine there were any major changes to the map. So it would be fine once the players get their maps updated. And looks like we have the rosters in for both teams.
Wait. Like, I checked, I went through all the maps literally last night. It was like freaking like 10 p.m. and this got updated, my time, and this got updated since then. That is insane.
And pay attention, because this one is going to be over insanely quickly. We're going to see a lot of misses once we get into the aim, and that's going to be pretty much the whole lobby gone. Skia and David, the only two to hold. It's basically no score advantage either way. Battle of HK, find a team miss, but they hold on to their combos a little bit longer, and that's going to be a very tiny advantage. Again, Dadunai are finding the bigger chain misses here. They cannot afford to lose this point, but they're already down by 300,000. That's a fair bit on this map, and it's already over too. And gee, that's another break point. Battle of HK are on match point.
Yeah, I mean, this was just always the like just whatever happens map.
Yeah.
It you know, Garfield, Fiery Rage Accordion, Jellyfish Jam, like these super, super short aim maps are, we don't have anything left. Let's just pick this and see what happens. When you know you are unfortunately probably losing the match. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, in this case, for Dadunai, it was the doesn't side of that. And yeah, match points now for Battle of HK the rest of the way with the 7-4 lead.
Yeah, so it does mean they're going to have 3 chances at least. I think, yeah, 3 chances to close this one out. And of course, even after that, they still have the tiebreaker, so they're in a very comfortable spot. They have good options open in terms of picks, and they're going to be feeling really, really good here. I mean, Dad and I haven't really found their footing after getting that early lead. It's just been all Battle of HK for the last few maps.
It's actually kind of crazy. I mean, Dadunai looked pretty darn good on those first few picks, right? I mean, yeah, the DT1 required the heroics of Ladofox, but they still got it. And the Hard Rock 1 and DT4 were, they're both kind of in control. But Battle of HK have just gone and just gotten the momentum and never really relinquished it. I mean, the DT3 notwithstanding. And they've still got picks, it feels like, even this late. Still got the Nomad 7, still got the Free Mod 1. They're going to go with the Free Mod 4, though, so you talked about this being maybe a Battle of HK pick. I didn't necessarily love it, but now that we've seen, a more aim-focused map, even though it was only 30 seconds, and we've seen some control maps, definitely feels a little more in their wheelhouse than they may have earlier on. This is such a challenging, awkward aim pick, right? Like, it is so hard. But they do appear to be the superior aim control team in this matchup by a pretty significant margin, so this pick makes a lot of sense, I think, now.
Yeah, a very, very difficult map, but unlike our last aim pick, it is a normal length, and that means that individual players can have a significantly larger impact. The last map was just not long enough for a single player to make the difference, and so Battle of HK gets a slightly better team score, but all it takes, one pop-off from Dadunai, and they have a chance to take this one. You cannot count them out of it just yet, as we wait for the rosters to go in. We know what to expect by now from these two teams.
Dare I say that we're going to see Ahio, Ethan Trix, Misha, Awa, Schiazzo, and Shari Tori in some capacity? 4 of those 5?
Very risky.
Dare I say?
There's a small chance you may be correct.
Like, if you bet on that, you'd have to bet like $100 to make 110. Like, you just...
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, wait, is Listia coming in? Oh my goodness, I'm actually going to be wrong. That's crazy.
Yeah, tough bet.
What a bet. That's like the bad beat of all time. The second map for Listia, we have seen her, of course, but it was like a while ago. What map was Listia in for? I feel like I literally don't remember. Which is bad, but...
See. And yeah, it was the DT... What is this? DT4.
Oh. Why was Listia... Wait, which one... yeah, why was Listia in for that? That's interesting. That was a really long time ago. That was the second map of the match.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, well, Listia's in Nomad on this. What? Nothing about that makes sense. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like,
and a hidden hard rock from Ski.
Double hidden hard rock for Battle of HK.
Oh.
Hard rock on Crystal.
Why not?
I don't know what's happening. I just don't know what's happening, man.
Well, it's going to be an absolute banger to potentially close this one out, but Dadunai looking to prevent that, bring this at least one match longer. It is going to be an early miss from Skia, but there's plenty of time for players to build up their combos, let the score lead build, and capitalize on big misses. We do see misses from both teams now coming out. And Listia finding quite a few, but again, they're traded back, and it's just going to be more trades. It's now Ethan Trix battling off against Ladofox. Those two have been some of the strongest players throughout this match, and looking to face off here, but it's only 200 combo ahead. There's still 3/4 of the map to go, and the map is not very dense, so honestly, a 500,000 score lead from Dadunai is a pretty decent one. Obviously, it's far from safe, but Battle of HK have their work cut out for them if they want to close this one out here.
Yeah, this is actually going... Well, I was going to say going well in the favor of Dadunai, but then they triple reset. And hey, look, it's Ladofox. It's Ladofox. We haven't seen heroics from him in a little while, but maybe this is his opportunity here as we reach halfway mark. It's a full lobby reset. Nobody over 100 combo for a moment there. And that's in the favor of Dadunai, who have a million score lead. They're going to be okay with that, but they got to find a little bit of combo somewhere. If Battle of HK gets anything going, they can bring this back quickly. But this is what happens on this map. And this is, you were talking about this just being the most ridiculously difficult, awkward aim. And there's why. I mean, there's no combo anywhere on the board except for Skia at 170, which is actually enough to bring this back, especially since there's a little free combo here, which is a bizarre thing to say, but there you go. Quarter of the map to go. It's gonna go over, I think, with that Skia combo. Dadunai really did not bring any combo out of that section.
The ending of this map is so brutal, though. It's all about how long Skia can hold. Hits that pattern. That is absurd. Only Z numbers hitting it for Dadunai, and Battle of HK are bringing this one back. The longer Skiatso holds, the quicker Dadunai's hopes drain out the window. When Z numbers misses, and I think Battle of HK are taking this one. This is an absurd combo from Skiatso. You should not be able to hit this ending. Finally misses, but has done more than enough, and that is quite the statement to close this one out.
What a freaking performance from Skia, dude. I did not think anyone would combo through that second giant diff spike. And just there he was, I guess. That is absolutely nuts, man. And that's going to be the 8th point and the final point for Battle of HK. What did he just do, man? That is such a nuts performance on that map with HDHR no less. Like, what?
And it was necessary, too. If Skiatso doesn't pull off that absurd combo in the ending, Ladofox's score is probably enough to secure the point for Dadunai in Battle of HK. Have to battle it out for a few more maps, but not going to be the case. Instead, they're moving on to Grand Finals. They've secured themselves top 2, so huge congratulations to them. Whereas Dadunai, they're going to be dropping down to the lowest bracket. They are definitely not out of this tournament, and they're going to look for their chance to face off against Battle of HK again in the Grand Finals.
And this is really interesting now because the two teams in losers bracket later today are Worldwide Choppers and John Porler. And guess who sent both of those teams to losers bracket in the first place? It was Dadunai. So they will get a matchup in the losers bracket final against a team that they've already beaten once in this tournament, regardless of who wins that to face off against them. So, you know, some revenge perhaps for that team, or, you know, Dadunai maybe can just go 2-0 against one of those teams. Hard to say. It'll be an interesting one now in that losers final for sure, regardless. But gotta give credit to Battle of HK, man. Dadunai have been on this crazy run this tournament, and they shut that down in no uncertain fashion, right? It was 5 straight maps from the 4-3 Dadunai lead to the 8-4 final score that we see now. Really impressive stuff from Battle of HK, and showing why you know, they were one of those pre-tournament favorites. When you saw that roster, you were thinking, okay, this is a team that will definitely be competing, and compete they have as they go to Grand Finals. Top 2 confirmed, top 2 guaranteed. Just a matter of who their opponent will end up being in that Grand Final. Still to be determined by a couple more matches.
Yeah, and that match is up next, of course, 18:30 UTC, I believe, and that is going to be between those two teams you mentioned, John Porler and, of course, Worldwide Choppers. On paper, I think going into this tournament, those are two of the teams you might have expected to be in this winners finals, but they're going to be battling out in the losers bracket finals instead. But I think it'll be a close matchup.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, we have our top 4 teams, right? Dadunai, Battle of HK, John Porler, Worldwide Choppers. 3 out of those 4 teams were top 4 seed by average PP. So clearly, the rank seeding working out a little bit for everybody except Dadunai, number 21 seed overall. But yeah, that one match remaining this weekend, John Porler, Worldwide Choppers, 18:30 UTC, so a couple hours on that one. And then it'll be on to Grand Finals for one of those teams to face off against Dadunai in the losers bracket final, with this Battle of HK roster looking so strong in the winners side of Grand. So definitely check back in with us in just a couple of hours. It will be, I believe, Cheese and Hubba on the comms for that match between John Portler and Worldwide Choppers. You do not want to miss out. And then, of course, Grand Finals Map Pool Showcase later on this evening. It's Hippo Cup. Grand Finals pool is going to be absolutely nuts. Be sure to check that one out later as well. For now, it's a congratulations to Battle of HK, commiserations to Dadunai. Job well done to both of these, but job better done to Battle of HK on the day. Thank you for watching. I've been T1G. He's been iFlame. And we will see you guys in a few hours as Finals Week rolls on here at Hippo Cup 8.